I don't know. I don't even know if you guys can hear this fucking music, but if you can, you know the surprise about. So, every time you walk more, and up, see door, just wait, there's no more call, knocking on the door, but the public, you know that door, no disaster, you're reminded, your mind get inspired, and you know each moment, now I own it, like it's gonna be a ball, try, then it falls, shining high when it's cold, but every time you want more, up and down, I see door, just wish that you're in my phone. Rise a little bit. Rise a little bit. Why am I stuck? Welcome, guys. Why am I? Why can't I tell me that? But I just don't know. Being I wanted to talk about astrology or anything. So yeah, when it comes to the astrology, typically the humanistic team has a due to certain emotions, thoughts, feelings, people maybe so really thought spending 2 hours being alive, just walking, but depending on what productive areas or putting it in areas not necessarily benefiting the thing. You know what I mean? So what are you? And then actually, you know what? I think it's Gemini moon. Here I am thinking it's Gemini. Right? We actually in pretty over in. Okay? So Gemini moon, we still on not we got roughly around 10. going back to the day, I don't think it's changed. But yeah, that Gemini moon reaction is one um, thoughts and feelings about that mutable air energy. So with Gemini, we're going to feel that want to talk about, want to express that, want to talk about, depending if you're putting it in a positive or a negative area, you want to think how to express. But with Cancer as well, Cancer being the sun, making very feel like more connected, expressing, acting on like more things to do with like um the emotions, the hope, the internal, all of that water and creating, creating in some way, shape, or form. We're going to be acting that energy out. So we're going to be acting that new emotion that will initiate, create out a new way of receiving or a new way of like feeling about how we act or um, expressing that with the Gemini moon coming through the sun. That's like what's it called? Expressing that mutability. So you may want to like talk a lot about like your thoughts or express a lot in an emotional or passionate way. It depends on what kind of emotion you're actually fostering for yourself, which is going to allow you to what's it called? Express something different. Yo, what up? Um, so yeah, when it comes to those energies as well, we're also going to be new moon. So the new moon is all about um bringing something new and initiating something cancer. That's going to be like in terms of initiating a new way of feeling. So with the new moon, we're going to be fully. Is YouTube always lagging live for a second? Let me. I'll check that first. If I'm good. It might be just you because when I checked before, it was good, but it also could be. Yeah, it looks like it's me. It looks like it's me. Like, 'cause I'm but yeah, well, the new moon, we're gonna have a new like way of receiving a new comfortability, right? So you're gonna be feeling that energy in the new moon, depending on how you've developed and how you with and that will be what you kind of get to initiate. But now's a good opportunity for you. Like it'll be a good opportunity for you to initiate something new, um, in a positive kind of way, right? But you're in a negative space, which is to say that you're experiencing a lot of feelings or developing a lot of feelings around things that you don't like and putting a lot of weight into that. You know what I mean? So that's more about it being a negative experience in terms of your own experience of it. You know what I mean? Not to say that everything was a negative experience of that, that show that you're in a little bit more of a negative state. You're accumulating a lot, like a large percentage scale. So, anyway, I'm just gonna put on music. Anyways, yeah. So with that new moon energy, it's a good time for you to initiate a new emotion, create a new emotion or a way of reacting, or a new comfortability for yourself in terms of your Cancerian. And 'cause in Cancer too, you know what I mean? That'll probably add that extra vibe. And so people could be highly emotional during that time, during the new moon. Um, you know, or you could be highly emotional too, well, because Cancer is quite an emotional energy in itself, you know. So it'll be strong Cancerian type of vibe. A lot of people might be in their emotions during that time. And a lot of people just might um, be getting emotionally reactive or feeling uncomfortable or feeling overly, depending on which individual person. But you're, I don't even know how I am right now. Am I even good? Probably still lagging, man. So, yeah. Okay. Well, so my microphone was not working on time. I don't know how long that was. But yeah, anyway, I was talking about the new moon. Now, some people might be emotional during this time, might have experienced a lot of emotional energy, or you might feel like more of that theme of like people reacting, responding to things that make them comfortable, whether that's an emotional thing that they're attached to, or whether it's something else. It's going to with that freaking light in the background, something that, you know what I mean? Anyways, shit, anyway, I'm going to organize that maybe a little bit better. Anyways, with the freaking Cancerian energy too, that may be something that's coming up. You know what I mean? You're looking within your space, within your home. Because Cancer is related to the home and the family. So you're looking within your space and being aware of the ways that you can make that space more comfortable for yourself. You know what I mean? Or experiencing things a lot in terms of how your relationship is with your family and so on and so forth. So yeah, um, also like delving more and getting more comfortable with things that you're actually creating and manifesting for yourself. Then all of those kind of stuff is kind of the theme of what we'll be starting to experience coming up. So I feel like we're getting close because I can already feel how that energy is in the space of us kind of being developing more comfortability with certain. Why is my audio so? Maybe it's my mic. Let me see. I don't know if my microphone's stuffed now, but we'll see. What happened? I don't know if my microphone's stuffed now. Oh yeah, I don't think my microphone that I was using was helping. You know, sometimes you have like certain devices and they like block off the connection or some shit like that. So yeah, now my microphone should be working good and my like lag shouldn't be as much. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, what was I talking about again? Cancer. I don't even know how much of that anybody heard, but yeah, I was just talking about how I'm Cancerian energy. We're gonna be, jumping more into certain things that make us comfortable, or even developing a new comfortability. You know what I mean, with something that maybe you were previously not comfortable with, or on the lower octave end, if you're experiencing a lot of experiences you don't want, you might develop something to be uncomfortable about, or something along those lines, or a new emotion about something. So the dog and bird died on the last lunar eclipse at midnight. Oh, okay. Lagging a bit. Okay, what the heck? Maybe, I don't know, because I was good just then when I checked, but it might have gone back again. Okay, let me get it behind my laptop. I mean, yeah, so maybe my laptop. Let's see. But yeah, um, so yeah, during this time, like for example, you said your dog and your bird died at the last lunar eclipse. So maybe you might develop a new emotion. Hmm. Yeah, I wonder why. That's interesting. But yeah, maybe you develop a new emotion about that, like certain situation, or a situation that like obviously would probably make you sad, quite sad to think about. But you might develop a new perspective on that. You know what I mean, during this time, or you could develop a new emotion in terms of you. Like maybe it's not specifically that perspective, but that's the thing we'll experience during this new moon. Um, because it's in a Cancer energy, Cancerian energy. Um, so yeah, for me, I've been developing a new way of feeling about like my own um like creativity and stuff, and like more like in that emotion of like a positive space, and I'm like, okay, feeling a lot better now, even as leading up, because I don't think we're fully on the new moon yet, but once we fully get there, I'll be probably experiencing a similar energy, just more to it. You know what I mean? That depends because I'm not 100% sure where we're actually at, but I feel like we're pretty close just based on what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So and that's why I always like it reminds me of my other videos where I've talked about it, and I'm like, just being mindful, like I'm learning about astrology still. You know what I mean? So there's some stuff that I might not be fully onto, but now I'm starting to think, hold on, maybe I shouldn't be putting that on myself. And see, that's that as well. Like being that's probably a little bit of that Gemini energy too. Maybe if we're still in that Gemini moon, of kind of being mutable, jumping to different ideas and ways of thinking and communicating about something. So yeah. See, now I don't like this fucking. Let's just do that. There we go. You would not believe your eyes. 10 million fireflies. I'm freaking in the dark. Oh well. I'm on the car, guys. Far out. So yeah, that's this kind of astrology we're going to be experiencing right now. You know what I mean? Um. So yeah. Also, like that Geministic energy too that we're just coming out of. Or it's more in that energy where we're kind of developing or thinking about new different ways to do things, um, new ways to react, or new ways to deal with our emotions as well, or deal with our internal realm. All of that kind of stuff during Geministic, quick. You know what I mean? So there might have been a lot of things that you went through that helped you to kind of work on your mind in some way, shape, or form. And because Gemini is also about clarity, you know what I mean? So having clarity of mind, being able to work to that, you know what I mean? So you might experience a lot of turbulent stuff, but it may be in the lens of like, once you overcome that, you actually gain more clarity, you know? So that's what I've noticed as well with certain things like that. I didn't know what you were talking about until now, sorry. No, you're fine. That's all right. I'm I was just saying, no, you're fine. I was just trying to keep the thing going because yeah, I was talking about cancer, but it was lagging like a bitch. So now I'm just gonna try to keep it going. You know what I mean? Because I feel like as well, if you've already been watching a lot of astrology videos, you can kind of understand the basics of cancer. Um, but yeah, and as I'm explaining it, I'm also breaking down the energies in itself. So it's like I don't necessarily need to say everything that I said at the start of the video is what I was thinking. So I hope, that's making sense. But you know what? Bitch, don't doubt yourself. That's what I'm going to say to myself. What the fuck am I doing doubting myself right now? I just need to lean back, lean into it, girl. Right. Anyways, on the flip note, you know, I found it out that I'm able to read, what's it called? Playing cards. So let's pull some freaking playing cards, love. For our collective. That's probably better. Bitch, I'm flying. So yeah, for the collective, we've got the Eight of Pentacles. Pretty sure this one is. This is talking about what's it called? This is talking about transforming something, but also with the Pentacles, it's also like or putting time into something really. All right, investing time into that Pentacles energy, a person, place, or a thing or a situation. Right. So working hard towards something is what this is giving for the collective that's watching this video. You know what I mean? So you've guys have got some kind of um what's it called? You guys have some kind of skill that you're working on, right? When's the new moon? Um yeah, I'm not actually sure about that. So I'm not 100% sure when it is, but I know it'll be in the next day or so, like give or take. That, but if I wanted to check, I could check the exact one now. But just trying to go based off the energy as well, low key, and see how I can feel it. You know what I mean? So that's why I give like an estimate. Not necessarily feel it either, you know what I mean? Because I'm just trying to pay attention to the the experience of the external, you know what I mean? Like how am I experiencing it myself? And then how can I look at that on a larger scale and apply that to like what I know the cycle to be, which is, just the astrological wheel. We're in Cancer moon right now. Okay. We've been for a few hours, or maybe like half a day or a day. Anyways, be mindful. I think my comments lagged. Oh, okay. Fair enough. They probably did because this chat might be better for me to actually keep the YouTube chat on my computer so I can actually see it real time maybe. So yeah, the Eight of Pentacles, you guys are investing into a skill or investing into a situation. You know what I mean? We're filtering out through the Cancer moon. Filtering that through the Cancer moon and the Cancer sun is you guys kind of working on yourself, maybe, or working on the way you react and respond, or how you emotionally feel comfortable with your environment, or even your skills, or developing how you like more comfortability to do with your skills. You know what I mean, or things that you're into, or working at a skill. You know what I mean. So that's all the energy that we'll be experiencing during this time. So, now would be a time where some people would be like starting to get over like certain fears, and certain things that make them uncomfortable in terms of working towards a specific skill or working on a specific goal, and jumping into that full energy. You know what I mean? We're reading for our viewers, so if you resonate and you're watching this, then this is what the reading is for. But, obviously you are your own spiritual guru, so you got to make just know when it's for you, based on your own experience. Is this the energy that you're experiencing, during this time? Then, that will show you. With this Joker card here, that's like kind of the Jack. Not the Jack, sorry, why did I say the Jack? It's like the Fool. It's like the Fool card. So it's jumping into that new space, all right? Kind of like jumping into a space where you're more free as a spirit. Okay, so again, that's tying into that energy, developing a new comfortability and feeling more free with your spirit and the way that you work, like the certain things that you work towards for your goals and stuff like that. So you're feeling more emotionally comfortable to actually feeling more emotionally comfortable to jump into that more free space as a spirit and to work towards something in terms of you being in that free space and working towards it. So then we also got the Ten of Spades. So the Ten of Spades, 10 is about the 10th house. You know what I mean? So that's Capricorn energy. Business minded, business oriented, you know what I mean? Or structure, organization in some way, shape, or form. But when it comes to the swords, a lot of structure, a lot of organization, sometimes have a lot of like shit, you know what I mean? Because then when your structure and your organization doesn't go well, you might end up being disappointed or feeling frustrated, you know what I mean? Because things didn't go to plan or something like that. And then what's it called? Also, in the minor arcana, it's also talking about crises, betrayals, or backstabbing, some people say, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's an external circumstance. It might just be yourself, you know what I mean, going against certain things that you normally wouldn't go against, possibly, you know what I mean, or you know you shouldn't go against, all that kind of stuff. So it just depends on which side of the scale you're on and how you'll be experiencing that 10 of swords, you know what I mean? Or if you're going through that crisis energy, or you're going through a lot of cycles and um, what's it called? People because as well, 10th house is also about how you're seeing. You know what I mean? It's about all that energy. You know what I mean? So a lot of ideas or thoughts about how you're seen too. You know what I mean? So a lot of those kind of stuff with the 10 of what is it called? Spades. And I find it so interesting because this reading is literally reminding me of um the live on TikTok with Lucinda. I'm just like, bro, I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. So yeah, we also have the 6 of Hearts. Okay, so that's talking about, I'm pretty sure, that nostalgia energy. Okay, but also like 6 is also balance and harmony. It's also related to the 6th house. You know what I mean? So that's um, what's it called? Virgo, if I'm not mistaken. So also relating to that 6 energy, being able to be someone who has that balance and harmony that people can go to for balance and harmony, or a non-biased perspective or advice, or that's that 6 energy playing out. Also, if it's Virgo, Virgo is also about worries. So you know with that 6 of Hearts, you you get to be that vessel of that, like, emotional state in some way, shape, or form. So you're also being mindful. Now I'm starting to see why it makes sense. What the fuck? For a second there, I was like, how the fuck does this make sense at all? So I had that moment of like, what? And then I'm like reading into it and I'm like, oh, okay, yes. We're talking about Cancer as well. So investing that emotion, investing in that fulfilling emotion, and people feeling like they can go to you. So, a lot of people could be coming in your space to do with like nostalgia or old emotions or cups energy, or relating. And yeah, damn, that one kind of threw me off. I ain't even gonna lie. Oh, I ain't even gonna lie. That 6 of Hearts threw me off a little bit. But yeah, I'm feeling like this reading is low key getting to an end as well, because I notice, I don't know, sometimes I push, you know what I mean, and then I notice it gets repetitive. So I feel like this might be one of those times. But yeah, with that 6 of Cups energy as well, in the Minor Arcana, it talks about the nostalgia energy, or that nostalgia energy, and going back to things that once made you happy. So all of these things are kind of forms of fulfillment in some way, shape, or form. Or um, I didn't realize how freaking high that angle was. Don't mind me, guys. I thought it was a lot lower angle than that, but yeah, I was definitely like up there a bit. Like, but I was just zoning out, like looking into nothing. Because I find myself doing that when I get really into the reading. I'm just like staring off into the distance. But yeah, when it comes to those emotions as well, you may be going back to old feelings, nostalgia energy, or finding old things that made you happy, or finding new things that made you happy as well, or finding an old feeling, and bringing that up to help you with this new feeling that you might be experiencing, and so on and so forth. Um, so yeah, all of that Cancerian energy, definitely big feelings energy, going on there. Um, but also like the reading energy was pretty good. It's definitely a balanced space coming out of that negativity and coming out of that crisis mindset and those overthinking thoughts type, and jumping more into a more free space. So fuck yes. And the whole reason why I even did that is because I just wanted to do these cards as well. These freaking playing cards. They're so cool. So yeah, I reckon I shall leave it at that, guys. And I will see you guys for the next video. But yes, as always, stay protected, babes. Protect your culture, protect your, you know, self, protect your people, protect your family, you know what I mean? Protect your loved ones. Do all of those good things because, gotta watch out for yourself, you know what I mean, in this world. So I wish you guys the best of luck. And I'm the life path of the fool. Life path of the fool. What, life path 0? I don't think there's a life path 0, because the fool is 0. But yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video. Have a beautiful night, because it's getting a bit late. You know, I like to rest down. I meant to say settle down, bro. Peace!